Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 12th, 2026 Planning Board meeting. Could we first please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If I could first, please read aloud a letter from Robert Waterhouse, one of the members of this board who served for some time, and it's addressed to Ed Lackerman, Supervisor, Town Planning Board, and John Tegeter. It is with regret I must tender my resignation as a member of the Planning Board due to changes in my family responsibilities. I want to thank the town for the opportunity to be a member of what I consider a volunteer board performing functions of great benefit not only to the town but also to the citizens residing therein. My position provided me the benefit of working with a group of knowledgeable fellow members who provided me with the opportunity to share my knowledge, but to also learn from them. This was a great experience for me, which I am very grateful. It is my hope that I will be able to continue to volunteer to help the town in the future. Respectfully submitted, Robert Waterhouse. He was an excellent member, and his time was greatly appreciated, and we thank him for his service, and we hope to see him soon. All right, so first and foremost, we have gotten a very large group of letters and emails in the correspondence. Most of them refer to the town board referral, which we have on our agenda as number 12, Homeland Towers LLC, Granite Springs Road. We will certainly go through each one of those letters. I do want to note tonight, for anybody who is here in reference to that item on the agenda, it is in the work session. The work session for this board is a discussion between the applicant and the board. There's no public input. More than willing to, or free to stay and listen to everything. I'm sure at some point we'll be asking a lot of questions and doing some homework, but just so everybody's aware. All right, in reference to the correspondence, which are many, any items to discuss at this point?
Not that I know.
No.
There's a lot to go through. In reference to the meeting minutes of December 22nd, 2025, any alterations or additions?
Motion to accept.
Is there a
Second.
second? All's in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Me too.
Playing hooky.
I'm abstaining too. I wasn't there.
Okay, we'll move into the regular portion of the meeting. First on the agenda was the Part 3 Golf Course. This is an adjourned public hearing. The item has been adjourned to the January 26th meeting. Next, we have the Garage Subdivision. This is a request for reapproval. Locations 3319 Stony Street.
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Joe
New Year.
Sabrina, the Principal Site Design Consultants. We're seeking a reapproval of this. It seemed to have fallen between the cracks, and we didn't keep up with the approvals on it, but we want to reapprove it. We've been working with the Health Department. It's been taking a while, but I think we're close to terminating that part of it.
Any issues, Counselor?
Don't believe so.
John?
Nothing here.
Any issues from the board?
No.
Do I have a motion to approve the resolution reapproving the preliminary subdivision layout for the garage subdivision?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Joe, you're loaded up tonight, huh?
A little bit.
All right, so next we have the Colangelo subdivision. This is also a request for reapproval, location 1805 Jacob Road.
Yes, good evening, Joe Sabrina, the Principal Site Design Consultants, seeking reapproval for the subdivision known as Featherbed. I believe you received a letter from Jerry Tortorella, the counsel for the property owner, explaining where we are with the process and why we'd like a reapproval.
We did, and we have a letter dated December 31st, 2025. Any Issues, Counselor? John Tegater?
Nothing here.
Anything from the board?
None.
That being said, do I have a motion approving the resolution reapproving the stormwater pollution prevention plan permit, wetland permit, tree permit, and final subdivision plat titled Colangelo Subdivision, also known as Featherbed Properties Incorporated?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next on the agenda, we have Underhill Farm. This is a request for time extension. Location is 370 Underhill Avenue.
Good evening, Joseph Reed, the Principal Site Design Consultants, requesting time extension for the subdivision approval for Underhill Farm. We are currently in the Health Department, awaiting their sign-off on the subdivision approval.
Let's give it a minute here.
No, you're too far. That's the next one.
Do you see it? Am I
No.
missing it?
Right in between.
There's no resolution.
Nothing?
No.
Okay, so in reference to Underhill Farm, any issues, Counselor?
No issues.
John?
No issues.
Members of the board?
Not here.
We've been over this.
This
Do I
is
vote?
just a time extension.
Time
on it.
extension, yeah.
That's- I move that.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna move into the work session. First on the work session is Underhill Farm. This is a discussion of approved site plan, 370 Underhill Avenue. Oh, Jesus.
Does it all the time now. That's right.
Trying to wake us up.
Yeah.
Definitely trying to wake us up.
Wait till the toilet flushes.
I like that better.
We're here this evening. Phil Greeley is here also with me from Colliers to go over the proposed amendments to the site plan, which include the construction of a pump house for the sprinkler system, the installation of 2 signs that are to represent the historic nature of the property, location of a generator, backup generator system, and discuss any questions you may have regarding the intersection improvements. Regarding the pump house that's been before the Architecture Review Board, they've given that a favorable memo, I believe. And regarding the signs, I think that's still being discussed. I don't know if there's been a conclusion yet as to that. The last time around, we had proposed a fence along Glenrock Street. That is no longer part of the proposal, and that area is going to consist of what was approved on the landscape plan, which are arborvitaes, spruce, and maples.
So,
Wasn't there mention of a 10-foot fence?
No, it was a 6-foot fence, but now that's no longer,
No,
that's
on
no
one
longer
lot,
that's no longer proposed.
yeah, there was a the whole length of the road, there was a
Yeah.
proposed 6-foot. Yeah, that would, they would have not have, so we appreciate the alteration to that. The sign, from what we understand from the historical, board, is undergoing some tweaks, I guess, on the historical content. So I know that's ongoing. It sounds like Abaca is all right with the proposal. Last we met, and Aaron, you were not here, we did discuss the situation with the controlled intersection, with the traffic lights and the amendments there. And we had met with Supervisor Lackerman and discussed the overall proposal or project that the town was going to be overtaking with pedestrian-friendly improvements. We were very glad to hear that, and I know John Tegeter and Robin will be very involved in that. So we'll look forward to that moving forward. Maybe if we could hear from the doctor about how that might tie into what we're doing here, just to formalize that so that we could move forward with this.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right. Good evening, Philip Greeley from Colliers.
Good evening.
Just a quick update. So the intersection improvements are well underway. The signal contractor is actually picking up from the DOT the new controller for the intersection. So we would anticipate that the signal work will be completed this month. We still have some utility poles that need to be relocated. There's been a holdup with Verizon, I guess is the latest holdup, but that's coming together. So the plan that was approved by New York State DOT provides a new sidewalk along the south side of Underhill Avenue. It replaced the previous crosswalk that existed before the intersection was widened. That's being replaced. There is a new crosswalk from the Underhill property across to the southwestern corner to accommodate pedestrians that would walk from that area across, let's say, coming to Town Hall. And then there's also a mid-block crossing further up past the entrance to Underhill Farms, connecting to the sidewalk that exists on the south side of Underhill Avenue. In terms of those crossings, will be push-button controlled. There's separate PED signals for each of those crossings. The ultimate plan that was designed set back all of the signal equipment so that if in the future Route 118 was widened to provide an additional lane, that those signals would be in place, would not have to be relocated, and would have the loadings to accommodate additional signal heads at that point in time. So that was part of the master plan. As part of that master plan, also added 2 more crosswalks, one across the eastern leg of Underhill and one across the northern leg of 118. Those are not being constructed right now. It's part of a master plan that the town is pursuing. DOT has approved that, so there's a permit that will permit that. In the interim condition, because of the treatment of the existing sidewalk along 118 as it comes around onto Underhill, would be a significant amount of work there to get that one of those crossings. So that's I'll call it the second phase of what would be part of the town project there. But the situation that's there, and this has been, again, reviewed and approved by New York State DOT, it accommodates pedestrians safely, efficiently. The turning lanes will be in place also with the full upgraded signalization, the replacement that DOT required. And everything should be functioning this spring.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank you.
And John, and Sergio, the town is gonna be aggressively looking at, it sounds like the walkability of the entire town at this point. And there are some improvements that I guess are being looked at, hopefully to be put in place.
Yeah, we're actually in the process of applying for a grant to get additional money for streetscape and pedestrian connections, so.
This is excellent news. Any questions from the board at this time?
One question about the generator that Joe mentioned. So what kind of fuel will run the generator? Propane or oil or?
Yes, it's not gonna be a gas generator, it'll be, gasoline, it will not be gasoline, it'll be, gas-fueled, propane gas fuel.
Natural gas.
Yeah, right, natural gas or
Does it
propane.
require a tank or is there a gas line there for them to
There-
hook into?
That's a good question, I don't have an answer for that, but, I will get you that answer.
Okay. So which one is it?
And again, we appreciate the removal of the fence.
Yep.
We missing anything, John?
I don't think so.
Thank you very much. Joe.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Do we need an emotion?
next on the agenda, we have a ZBA referral. This is number 45/25. This is for the Yorktown Community Nursing School, located at 247 Veteran Road. How you doing? Good.
Hi, my name is Mary Beth Fay. I'm the director of the Yorktown Community Nursery School. We are currently have a application for a special use permit in front of the zoning board. And I received an email asking me to speak to how we were going to address the other issues in the 300-53 town code for daycares. It's not part of the zoning permit, but it's what we would need to do afterwards.
Okay.
So I have some documentation to go through that. Is that what I do? Okay, then that's what I'll do. Okay. So A is our intent. We are currently a nursery school voluntarily registered with the New York State Department of Education and in compliance with the Commissioner's Regulation Part 125, all rules and regulations by the state. I have a copy of our certificate attached to the paperwork that I can provide. So with this, we are looking to expand. Currently, under the state, we can only operate for 3 hours. So the children can only be in class from 9 to 12 is the maximum. They're actually in our classroom from 9 to 11:45. We're asking for the special use permit so that we can provide a longer day for the children. With working families, people need more than just the 3-hour day. The New York State Department of Ed doesn't voluntarily register preschools for any longer than that. We would then have to go under the Office of Children and Family Services, which is why we're applying to be a daycare. It is our intent, we are not doing any expansion of our building with that, with this request or anything like that. It's really so that we can operate for that longer day. So currently we have 40 children enrolled in our classrooms. So we submitted our application, and then I have, an exterior site plan and interior site plan attached here. We currently, the next one on the list was reports from the building department, fire marshal, and planning board will be obtained once the zoning board approves and referrals are made. So I guess the process is you refer us for that. But just so that you know, currently we do, and I have here evidence of our fire, inspection from the New York State that we have done, and that's somebody from the town of Yorktown who we pass our fire inspection every year. So we would have that, and obviously would continue to get whatever new additional requirements that we would need as a daycare when that time comes. Then the next one references insurances. So currently our school holds disability insurance, workers' compensation insurance, student accident insurance, sexual abuse and molestation insurance, and liability and property insurance. Right now we have what we need. Again, for the New York State Department of Education, I see in your regulations, so we have the nursery school now has liability insurance that covers the use and operation of the nursery school with a minimum of 100,000 per occurrence and 300 aggregate limit. I see that you would need, once we get our approval as a daycare, we would need to increase that to 300 and 500. And given that we carry the insurance that we need, we would be willing to get that. We've already put into our insurance company quotes to get the additional insurance once that happens, but we're not going to pay for the additional insurance until we get our approval, so we don't have it now. And I have proof of insurance attached here. Then the next item there is you would do a traffic study. We would, of course, comply to the traffic study. Then the next requirement is the physical dimension requirement. So item A is the minimum lot size, which in Yorktown there is no minimum lot size, so I don't have anything that pertains to that since there isn't one. And then the minimal usable indoor space, which is 35 square feet per child. That's what we would need as a daycare. That's actually what we need also from the New York State Department of Ed. We have that, and I have, again, an attachment that has proof that that is the space that we have now. And then the minimal outdoor space. It goes through each one, so it says your outdoor space has to be readily accessible and adequate for outdoor play. And I have our New York State inspection that shows that we have that space there, and that we are completely fenced with a 6-foot fence around that play area. So we have that requirement. And then the next is drop off and pickup. So YCNS has off-street parking available in the front of the school right now. We also have parking and it has to be away from the recreational area. So the parking's in the front of the school. Our playground is in the back of the school, separated by a fence, the building and then a fence. So we have that, and I have a picture of that as well. Our parking, the next requirement is that our parking has to have direct access to the building, which it does, and one-way flow. So it's a one-side pull in, pull out that we have now, so we have that already. The next one is that we have to have one toilet and one basin for every 10 children. I also have from our New York State registration that we do meet that requirement already. We're actually over that requirement. We have more toilets and basins than we need to have in the classrooms. And then the next one is G, providing heating and ventilation. Again, I have proof of that from our New York State, that we have that already, that we need. Then the next one is that
Can I?
Yep.
Can we back up to
Yes.
something? First of all, just in a general sense, we have this on referral from the zoning board.
Okay.
Does that special use permit that the zoning board is doing encompass review of all of these factors, or is that before us at some point?
It's before you if they request that you do a full site plan approval.
Have we been?
But you can dig in as deep as you feel you should.
Well, this has been here since 1946.
The school, 1947, it was conceptually here, started in 1948. So yeah, we're going to receive our historical recognition this month. So yeah.
I got to ask a quick question to Counselor. 2 of my 3 daughters went here. Do I have to? It was 20-something years ago. Do I have to recuse myself, or can I?
I think you're okay.
Long enough. All right.
Surprised you
So-
remember.
Huh?
Surprised you
Oh,
remember.
that's good. Anyway,
So I just wanted to go back to the point you were discussing, access
Yes.
and drop off.
Yes.
Okay, and that has always been my office used to be around the corner from this building, and so I drove by all the time in the front of it, and I know that many times kids were across the street over on the park side of the road, and then they were escorted from that side of the street into the building. And I recognize that, this has been a long-standing existing use here in town, but you described something that didn't match what my recollection is of what goes on here. You talked about an access with a one-way.
No, that you just meaning that if we were I don't know exactly what year it is. I've been the director there for 20 years. At one point, the town had asked us, so we used to butt all the way up to Veterans Road, just like the VFW and the American Legion next to us do now. Still, our property line used to go all the way down to the street, equal with them. Several years ago, they asked us to pull back, so we made a cut-in and a retaining wall to provide parking that does not stick out into the street.
Where is that is that on the right side of the building as you face it?
On the
right
right side of the building, yes.
See that? But she's talking about this wall up front.
Yeah, it's a
You can
shoulder.
pull off the
essentially.
road, yeah, it's a
Shoulder,
paved
so it's-
Oh, so that's not
Like a
part of
shoulder,
the,
you see, right. So you
pavement.
see that car parked is
That's this.
off of the road?
Yeah.
okay, that answers where the
Yes.
crosswalk ends, basically,
Yep.
Right.
that strip
There is,
is yours and it's for drop-off and so forth.
Yes.
Okay, I got, thank you.
yes.
Okay, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
disrupt
I-
your train of thought.
No,
but,
no, no, that's okay. That's
the
fine.
question came-
I don't know. My understanding from the email that I got is that the process is we get, the zoning board gives us a special use permit and then it goes before the planning board. And I was told that if we provide this information in advance, it would help. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, that would be the other way around, actually.
The other way
if that's the
around?
case.
Okay.
If the zoning board wants the planning board to do a formal approval, that would be prior to them,
Okay.
typically prior to them approving the special permit.
Okay.
But
Great.
I think the long and short of it is, you've been there since 46. You're looking to extend the hours
Yes.
to service the community.
Yes.
It's required to go to the ZBA. They're looking for us to refer any issues that I think we've had. It's been there forever. Have we had ever any complaints or anything of the sort? I can't imagine. No. I mean, it was a very organized.
I don't recall that there was complaints, but Aaron brought up the issue. I too go through there every day,
Yeah.
and so I'm not sure of the number of parking spaces you have. I'm not sure yet of the number of employees you have in order to provide parking for, or the number of drop-off that you have to accommodate, which are, on the street or in those areas. But nevertheless, and then walking across the street as you see the crosswalk. So I think that's something that the board should take up to see if there's any needed improvements that can be done in order to make that a safer way of doing business, basically.
Yeah, that would be my concern
Yeah.
also. I live, about a half mile from there, and so many people cut through. And, those of us that have been around for a while know the school's there, and that's great. But that little crosswalk, I think needs to be improved, and perhaps even some signs that say caution, the little.
So we have asked for that for years.
Oh.
As far as improving the crosswalk, there is signage as you head towards the school that says that it's a nursery school, and your town signs that do say slow and things like that. But certainly,
Yeah. I think you're going to need more, particularly
Yeah.
when it becomes a daycare center and you're going to have.
it would only be the same amount of children
Right,
that
but
we
the time might be
currently have.
different.
Right, it
Might
just would be the
coincide
time
with-
of day.
Yeah.
Same amount of teachers as well?
Same amount of employees in the building at all, right, because, we might have different teachers in the afternoon, but it would be number-wise the same.
Have you given us that
age range?
information?
What?
Have you given us the number of students and the number of employees?
So the number of students, our maximum is 44, but they're not all there at the same time.
So you have a morning and
32,
afternoons.
no, 32 on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then the other class, the other days, 12 others.
What's the maximum you have in the building at one time?
The maximum we have in the building at one time is 36.
Students?
And what time would it open?
So, at 9.
Till,
So our intent is not to do early open at this point, but obviously once you approve daycare, we could do that. But and right now it's 9 to 11:45. We're hoping to be 9 to 2.
and nothing in the afternoon?
9 to 2.
Oh,
Nothing.
9 to 2 or 9 to 11:45, different
Right.
sessions?
Right now we're doing 9 to 11:45. We're hoping to be able to do 9 to 2 p.m.
Right, so my question is now,
Yeah.
do you have an afternoon session?
No.
So you're empty in the afternoon?
Unless parents choose to stay, yes, we're empty in the afternoon, after that 12 o'clock.
How many employees?
5.
And on-site parking is how many? One?
On-site, the driveway,
Aside from the driveway, what parking do you have?
we have, I would say, 8 spots.
That's the front.
Yes.
And on the side there is one?
On the side, that driveway where you see the blue car
Yeah.
is 1.
That should be
I mean,
shown.
or 2.
And
Yeah.
the front
be shown on a
parking is
plan.
drop-off?
And the front, people park in the front to drop off. People do park across the street and walk
Lot,
across the
a lot.
crosswalk
I
in
see
addition.
that a lot.
So is that parking strip in the front adjacent to your friends delineated in some way or set out to the public that this is not a parking area?
No.
But a drop-off?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
It
people
is
just
not.
sort of figure, those that have been around for a while know that it's there, and you expect the parking, you know, but it is disconcerting sometimes to see people park on the other side, and, you know, people aren't really paying attention to that crosswalk. I think you really need more of a warning thing.
I wasn't concerned so much about that part of the problem is because that I think is generated by the availability or not of that strip in the front immediately adjacent to the school. So I don't know what's out there to say to me driving by that I can't pull my car over there and park because it's part of the street.
Right.
You know, I'd rather not. I'd rather that there be some specific indication that this is a no parking area. Maybe
And
the town has to do
Yeah.
something about that too. I don't know.
right, because people in the town do park there, like on
That's
weekends
what
when
I'm talking about.
they have a show at there, or
Right.
things like that.
I mean, obviously, if it's on the weekends, it doesn't conflict with your operation,
Yes.
but it does during the daytimes, during the 5 days of the
Yeah.
week. And I think that's something we need to think about.
Okay,
When are you in front of the ZBA?
at the end of the month.
So you mentioned the traffic study. Are you going to hire a traffic engineer to do the study, or have you had any plans in that regard?
So I didn't know how that worked, because when you read it, it says that the town board would need to do a traffic study. I didn't know if that meant we have to do it and then you have to approve it, or we do it. We would certainly hire somebody if that's the process. I didn't know that was the process.
You want to individually take a ride out there and take a look?
Yeah, we could drive by.
I mean, we could find out if they want to put a sign up, because it's technically their property, right? So,
But not the
I mean,
roadway.
they could possibly put a sign up. I could find out for you if that requires approval from the town or not. That says kind of
Okay.
drop-off zone, no parking, drop-off only, or something. I think that, Aaron, that's what you're alluding to,
That's
correct?
right. I
Yeah.
want to make sure that that strip is set aside for
Yes.
this purpose, at least during the, the hours of school's operation.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I could find that out for you. If you
Okay.
just send me a text or just look me up, my number's all over the place.
That would
Okay.
probably be a resolution, though I think the police department would have to get involved. There'd probably be a resolution to the town board approving,
Stating no parking? Okay,
with the exception
That's
of the
two, there's
intended
two
use.
things here.
well,
It's in the right of way.
Well, you
well,
got,
we don't know if it's in the right of way. According to what the nice lady said in terms of the narrative of how this happened 15 years ago, they were asked to pull back.
Right.
Which means to me that there's high potential that those are on her property.
I'm just looking at the site plan that was
Doesn't show
submitted. It shows it shows the retaining wall on the property line.
yes, I think that may need to be updated.
Well, if you look at the pictures, it's about the right distance.
It still shows it in the town.
Yeah,
have a
wait, it's
survey?
gone. What?
Do you have a survey of the property?
I do.
If you could submit that, that'd be helpful.
Okay.
At any rate, if it is on the private property, then you can put up whatever signs you need.
Right.
Otherwise, I think you should do a town board resolution so it's enforceable by the police department
Right.
and no parking, if you want to go with no parking. Which, has the domino effect of reducing their off-street parking availability per the code.
True.
People generally will park and walk the children in.
Park and walk
There's no
the
one
children in.
outside waiting as you, right.
No.
so it's park and then walk in. It's it's not,
but it's all on the street.
right.
And I don't think they necessarily, of course, I'm sure, I don't have to, this is not a surprise to anybody that when someone gets out of the car and walks across, they're not necessarily going down to the crosswalk either, and they do so on both sides of the street, longer than the length of the property, actually. So I've seen folks get out of the, further down, so there's a lot, and in crunch time, a lot going on there, in that area, so.
Yeah, that's the, walking from the other side is what I've seen. And,
Yes.
it's not that it isn't a good place to park, and it's not that you can't walk the child across the street, but I think more notice, whether it's some sort of flashing light during certain hours or what, would be really helpful, because a lot of people come from, the other side of town, over by Evergreen in that area.
Yeah.
So they're coming that way and then heading to the Taconic.
Well, you fixed,
Yeah,
you
I mean,
fixed
I
a couple
will
of
say-
problems that way.
Yeah.
Because,
the years we've been
the
there, we
people might
haven't
not
had
necessarily,
Yeah.
everybody
Any
crossing that
accidents
street might
with
not
the children.
necessarily
Thank
be going to
goodness, yeah.
her because
It's very
there's the
simple,
vet right next door.
Yeah.
So they
Right.
could be crossing because of the vet as well. You would fix both.
I mean,
problems.
there's
Start
lot,
with the
yeah, a
survey.
It
few
would fix
different
both
things.
problems.
Yeah.
I think that served that architect, because it's his stamp on there, probably took the survey and just up on the upper right.
Yeah, I see it.
All right, so why don't we individually, we don't have to go out as a group, I don't think, conduct a site visit,
Yeah.
come up with our thoughts.
Right.
We'll reach out to you and Robin,
So you wanna do that, and that next meeting, you'll formulate
formulate it.
what you'd
Yeah.
like to see and some recommendations possibly?
Yeah.
I think you also need to show us what's between the service drive that goes behind the building and the active areas that the kids are using, because I see a jungle gym, and then, unless you're saying, is there a fence between there?
There's a fence between the parking lot and the, there's a fence between that driveway and the backyard, that you
Okay.
can see.
Here,
Maybe a picture, a couple of pictures back there would help.
Okay, so some pictures back there, I can do that.
All right, thank you.
okay, we'll be in
All right.
touch. Thank you very much.
Downing Drive.
Next, we have a ZBA referral, number 48, /25, 380 Downing Drive LLC.
Must be Joe.
It's gotta be me. So
This is
we already
going-
had a public hearing on this.
Yeah, this is for the back area.
Right, it's for the construction of a loading dock in the back, or extension of the existing loading dock. And as I said, we've already had a public hearing on it. We've been to Abaca.
You had a public hearing here
Yes, Yep.
for the amended site plan.
sorry, John.
That's
Yep.
okay.
We've been to Abaca twice. The second time, they've asked us to make some minor changes. I could show you what that is real quick. So this is the finished building as agreed to with Abaca. What they asked us to do was take this band, this sign band here, and have it protrude out from the face of the main stucco upper part, which we've done, and also add a matching collar around the bottom of these two columns that come down from the upper area. So those were the only two changes they've asked us to make. We've made those changes. We'll get those back in. So the owner of the building has asked for us to request from you. At this point, they've got the 3 tenants signed up for the building, but they can't get a building permit to start the work on the fit out of the space, other than you know, what we need the variance for. And he's asking whether you can pass on to the building inspector, you're okay with him issuing the building permit so they could start that interior work to the building.
When's the zoning board?
The zoning board is next week, but then I have to come back to you for the 26th, so that's about 3 or 4 weeks out before we can get a signed site plan and ready to go.
Well, right now,
Assuming that all goes smoothly.
this is back before us. I understand what you were saying about, you know, these small changes you referred to, but this is back before us right now on a ZBA referral,
That's correct.
which is almost circular, 'cause we
Yeah.
sent it
What
to,
is, what is
you know,
their?
we sent it to them.
And is the referral for the variance on parking?
No, the
Back.
variance is for
Setback.
an addition on the back for
Okay.
expansion of the loading dock.
When does the parking come into play?
The parking comes in as part of the planning board's approval of the amended site plan.
I don't think there was a variance for that. This is just a setback, right, for the loading dock?
Well, we're short on the parking, but you have
Oh.
the ability to vary that up to 25%, which we're well within
We
that
can do that.
25%.
ZBA isn't gonna do that.
No, they're not
Right.
ruling on that.
So you have I
So that'd be,
guess you have a favorable sense of the setback variance.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're gonna be able to
They
get
did
a-
what you asked, what we asked.
that's what we asked for.
Right. We talked about this, you'll be able to get a vehicle by, and
Right.
I don't think you're gonna get any.
Fire department had no
Right.
issue.
There's no issue. So, in respect to that,
We can do that memo.
do we have
But the
the
ZBA
authority to tell the building department that we're right with them?
Yes.
We can. I have no objection to that.
I got none either.
So I would limit it to he wants to start
Inside
building out
stuff.
the interior,
That's correct. He wants to start doing the fit out of the interior space.
so I would say,
Yeah.
So
I
do
mean,
that.
it's at his
So
risk, you know.
Interior fit-up construction, no exterior construction whatsoever until the site plan is approved and signed.
Good.
Is that it?
How's that?
That's what he's asking for.
I think you
yes.
did something similar with TJ Maxx. You did something similar to that.
Well, then we'll do it again.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
So
good, thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Fill the space.
do we do a resolution on that, or what?
I think it's a
Memo?
just a memo,
Or
right?
just a memo?
It's typically just a memo.
Okay,
If you're all in unison, then you don't have to do anything.
okay.
Okay. Next, number 10, we have McAngelo is a discussion of the wetland permit, locations 770 Blackberry Lane.
Me again.
Hello, Joe Rena.
The Mangiello family is looking to put a pool in their rear yard. I've got an aerial view of their property now. So you could see they've got an open lawn area already back there. There's a stream which essentially runs along the property line at the rear, and we're within 100 feet of that stream. This lot was created as part of the New Hope Farm subdivision. I guess that was back in the 80s, is that when that was? Yeah.
And you're doing some stormwater treatment with the rain garden, it looks like?
Right. So here's the shed that you saw in that aerial. Should be noted that there's conservation easement that runs across the back of the property here. And we're putting a rain garden to service the additional impervious area of the pool. Let me just grab my notes for a second.
Is that a proposed pool or installed?
Proposed. So was that property in the middle?
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, so the additional impervious area that's being proposed will be a little over 1,000 square feet, almost 1,050 square feet in that additional impervious area that'll go in.
What do you have going on in the easement?
Say that again?
What disturbance is going on in the easement?
We're not proposing any disturbance in the easement.
Can you look at your erosion and sedimentation plan? There is, if I'm reading the map correctly, there is a limit of disturbance line which does go into the conservation easement. Is that something you're gonna correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a remnant,
There's a,
yeah, that's a remnant of,
And the grading as well of,
yeah.
I can't read it, 692?
Yeah, that's a remnant of when originally the pool was pushed back further, and
right.
the
so
survey didn't show the easement. Then we were alerted by Robin that there was an easement, that there was a conservation
All right, so
easement.
you'll revise that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can
we'll
you go
clean
back
that
to
up.
the overhead real quick, the visual?
So that's the shed there that you can see on our site plan.
Maybe you could zoom in on that?
What's the concern? Off the easement.
That loose boulder wall, that's where the end of the grass is?
This here?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's within that easement?
Yes.
And the pool would basically adjacent to the shed,
Correct,
to the
closer
right.
to the house.
closer to the house?
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
Issues?
Get it done by summer.
No problem.
Okay, just clear it
Okay.
with Dan.
Okay,
All
Joe.
right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
I think you have,
Oh,
right, you have to set up the hearing.
okay. Well, is Dan around? By,
What?
is he? He's hiding downstairs?
He's around, I'm sure. So we
He'll
need
pop
to
in
do
a minute now that you mentioned him.
We need
All
a
right, so
public
we'll s-
hearing.
We'll set that up.
Okay.
It's a hearing.
Very good.
Thanks,
you.
Joe.
Thanks. Good night, everybody.
You're not
Hey,
done?
Joe.
I'm not?
No?
You got the next one?
What do I, oh, yeah.
We're gonna call this Joe's Agenda.
Yeah.
Next on the agenda is Wallach Management. This is a discussion of a minor subdivision. It's on Field Street. We did have the opportunity this weekend to walk the site.
I didn't. Did you see anything interesting? Nothing significant? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Straightforward.
This is yours from way back, Judy,
Yeah. Fox Den, Judy.
right?
I remember, I do remember.
Yeah, so,
I
so this
remember
is,
New Hope too.
yeah, as part of the original Fox Den, this was, supposed to be 2 lots at that point. They could not get supportive septic systems on there, so they put the lot aside until sewers came available, and now the sewer is available, so. There is a wetland in the back of the property. We are encroaching in the buffer. There's been a buffer mitigation plan prepared and submitted. We've met with the Conservation Board, and they've asked us to add some more mitigation, which we will be doing. Otherwise, they really didn't have any major concerns.
Joe, the only thing I saw when I was out there was that one area would look like a drainage ditch of a little bit, whether or not that was an actual pipe that was feeding that.
Yeah,
or if it was just
we're gonna
runoff.
investigate that. It clearly looks like that was hand dug. Someone created that ditch, and, you know, you could see the piles, spoil piles on both sides going down. So we plan on investigating that.
Any issues with the public informational?
We have to do 2.
You want to skip the first one? It's minor.
If we can, I don't see why not at this
I don't
point.
see why not either.
You sure?
Why- We don't need one.
Can we do that?
Skip the public informational?
Yeah. All right, then we'll set it for public informational.
The only reason being that although it was talked about and proposed in the first subdivision, was never approved.
Those 2 lots.
The
were
reason
never-
being that although they have a history of being proposed, they were never approved in the original one, so it's really an
Okay.
a new original subdivision, essentially.
Okay, got it.
What about on a previous application? Could we skip the informational on that?
That's a wetlands permit.
Right. Okay, that's good. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so we'll get
Okay.
ready for that.
We'll get ready for that. Thank you, Joe.
Now you're done?
Can I go now?
That's it. You want-
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, next we have Town Board Referral, Homeland Towers LLC, Granite Springs Road. How you doing?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Robert Gaudioso with the law firm of Snyder and Snyder on behalf of Homeland Towers. Just a quick bit of background before I hand it over to our engineer, Joe. The last time you saw this, on a referral from the town board, you had made a recommendation that you had no objections to the site. You did want to see the final plans. So we're back before you. Since that time, we did receive the New York State legislative approval signed by the governor for the parkland alienation. We've revised the plan significantly since the last time you saw it. We prepared a full SWIP, revised the EAF, full analysis from our engineer regarding the site plan, the freshwater wetlands, the tree removal, and the stormwater management and erosion and sediment control permit application. And also, we fully investigated all the species on the property, and we have a finding from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Most importantly, since the last time you saw this project, we've been able to move the access drive outside of the wetland proper. So there's no actual impact on the wetland. We are still partially within the buffer for the access drive. Since we've submitted those materials, we've met with the town board at a public hearing. We've had site visits. We've made some additional changes, including being able to preserve more trees, propose different landscaping, changes to the access drive, so forth and so on. I'd like our engineer, Joe, to introduce himself and walk you through those plans, if that's appropriate, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Joe Tremelli, Principal, KSCJ Consulting. So as was mentioned, we've made some minor changes to the plan at the request of the town board, your board, conservation, and as a result of a meeting with the adjacent neighbors. They're relatively minor, but overall proved to be relatively significant. To the east of the site, immediate to the east, is a DEC regulated wetland. We flagged that boundary. That was in November of '22, verified by the town's consultant, wetland consultant, and then again validated by the DEC in February of the following year. That established, obviously, the wetland boundary, but the associated wetland buffer. It is a flag lot, and the pole, if you will, of the flag is wholly within the buffer. As we move up the hill into the site where the compound for the tower sits, it's completely beyond the wetland, the regulated wetland buffer. We did do a tree survey. There are a total of 84 trees proposed to be removed. That number's been reduced since you last saw the plan. It was 88. You'll see in a minute, as a result of some of the minor modifications we made, we were able to shift, not only narrow the driveway width, it was originally 12 feet for the full length of the drive. We narrowed it to 10 feet for the full length. It's about 500 feet in length, 10 foot wide. But we also were able to shift it further east away from the adjacent property. The original plan, the drive was generally parallel to the property line, the common line between our property and the adjacent property to the west. We pushed it as far as we can to the west without impeding and going into the actual wetland proper. In doing that and some minor regrading, we were able to minimize the earthwork required for the job, tighten the disturbance a little bit, and it also provided us the opportunity for some added plantings as a buffer and a visual barrier between our drive and the adjacent property. Let's see. So this is the grading plan. You can see, as I said, we tried to keep it tight. We aligned the drive in a way that we're somewhat mimicking and trying to follow as best we can the existing topography of the property so that we don't have extensive grading and the need for any walls or tiers. So the grading is actually pretty tight to the limits of the improvements proper, the drive and the compound area. We do have some diversion swales on the western side of the compound to collect, western side of the compound and the drive to collect and divert any upland stormwater runoff from crossing over the proposed improvements, and then that would be bypassed and continue to feed the wetland as it does today. The entire length of the driveway, the entire compound area is all gravel, so pervious surface. We do have pervious pavers at the driveway apron at Granite Springs Road, just from a maintenance and stability standpoint. But the entirety of the drive in the compound is gravel. There is a minimum 1 foot deep stone reservoir under the compound area to provide some stormwater mitigation. We have a decrease in peak rates of runoff through the 100-year storm as a result of the design. The planting plan is, as I said, we originally were proposing 88 trees to be removed. By shifting the drive slightly and narrowing the width, we were able to save 4 trees along the common property line with the adjoining residential property. The original plan was a mix of hollies and eastern white pines, so all evergreen. At the request of the neighbor and in meeting with the town board, we mixed that species, redid the plan as a mix of deciduous and evergreen. So we now have, we've also increased the count by 2. By gaining that added space, we were able to do that. But we have now a mix of white spruce, black tupelos, and swamp white oaks. There is 1 red maple at the entry drive at Granite Springs. Another significant planting improvement we made was the addition of 30 skip laurels along that property boundary, again, to provide an evergreen screening from any visual, quote-unquote, impacts to the drive that we're proposing. The remainder of the mitigation plan along the drive and in the wetland, immediate to the wetland area and the buffer remain the same. It's a mix of ferns and a number of shrubs and perennials. We do still have 6 at the top by the compound. Let's see. We're doing white spruces at the top of the hill to provide some additional screening. The compound will be fenced for security purposes with an 8-foot high chain link fence. Lighting would be minimal, just for security purposes, and that would be on a timer, controlled in that fashion. Personnel once a month, Rob, maybe at most or at least, but typically once a month. Small utility truck, pickup type vehicle, just to go up to the compound area and check on the equipment. That's the proposed tower, 130 foot to its tallest point.
How tall are the trees?
Sorry. Thank you.
That's the driveway profile. As you can see, the dashed line is existing conditions. The solid line superimposed on top of it is proposed driveway grade. And with the exception of a small fill area in the initial part of the drive and the cut required to establish the compound area, we've very closely mimicked existing topography throughout the length of that drive. And then there's just a number of details here. I think since you last saw this, we did add a gate. It's in the lower left there, just a typical farm type style barway gate at the driveway entrance, again for security purposes. We did prepare a SWIP, full SWIP for the project. We are in the watershed. Although we're over 5,000 square feet of disturbance, we're not over an acre. So while we don't have to comply with the state's stormwater mitigation, we do comply with the town's ordinance with regard to stormwater. We will be filing a notice of intent with the state because we do still require coverage under the state's general permit in addition to local code, local permits. Anything else we need to touch on?
Thank you, Joe.
Anything to add?
No, we'd be happy to answer any questions, though, the board may have.
Any questions at this time?
Yes, I do. I read over all the materials that we were provided with on Friday. Obviously, I didn't see the materials that came in this afternoon, comments from various members of the public, and also significantly from some of our fire services commissioners. One question I did have in reading some of this is the need for this particular location to have a cell tower. One of the residents, I think, made a point that the town has recently installed another cell tower or approved one at Hill Boulevard and Route 6. And I was wondering if that would have an impact on the necessity for this one going in, or if that has been studied or taken into account yet.
Yes. Couple points. Number one, I haven't seen those memos either. If I could just ask for a copy of those to be sent over, I'd appreciate it, because I haven't seen those memos myself. But actually, no, the one on Hill Boulevard covers a completely different area. The town, as part of a coalition with other towns in Westchester County, had retained its own consultant back a number of years ago, Cityscape, and they prepared a very significant report for all of northern Westchester, and they identified the areas in town where additional facilities were required. One was actually at Hill Boulevard, and one is in this area, the Granite Springs area. So they're different coverage areas, and this one is needed to cover this area. The one on Hill Boulevard is more Route 6, Hill Boulevard, the mall, all the uses up in that area.
So you said a consortium, so that's something that a group of towns were looking at, not just one community or another, right? This
So
the
it was
whole
my
area.
understanding, we had nothing to do with that, but it was
Uh-huh.
it was all the northern Westchester towns got together with the county. They retained one outside consultant who prepared a full report. They did polling in the town to confirm people's, significantly increased usage of wireless services. They looked at the existing facilities. They ran coverage maps, and they prepared a comprehensive plan for all of northern Westchester, including the town of Yorktown, and it identified both of those areas, among others, for the need for additional infrastructure.
The study goes back several years. That's when it was,
Yes, I know. Another question I had was the visual appearance of this tower. I've, when you drive around, you see some of them are camouflage. They look like trees themselves, and this one, according to the materials we received, is very obviously a cell tower, and there's no attempt to even minimize that it looks like that.
Yeah.
Is there any consideration of that?
35 over towards Somers is much more attractive than that one.
Sure. So,
Although I can say, I live right around the corner from there.
Yeah.
The cell phone service is very weak up there.
So, two things. We did do a full visual report that included renderings of different styles of tower, and that is part of the materials that the town board has. As far as the design, whether it be a tree or a standard monopole, whether the standard monopole will be painted brown, I think that's ultimately up for the town board to decide. But sometimes the trees look good, sometimes they don't. So the one on Greenwood, it looks terrible, quite frankly. The one on Route 35, there's actually two. There's one at Amato Farms, and there's one on the old Santorini property. I don't know if those were in the proper setting. This is set back very far in the property, all the way towards the back of the property, both to the west and to the north, I would say, is completely wooded. And then you have Granite Springs Road that cuts across, I guess, from Mayapack Avenue over, all the way over heading towards Sparkle Lake. So we did do a full visual resource evaluation, and we showed what different towers would look like, and I defer to anyone to look at that.
This is on referral to us. Town board has the authority on this one?
Correct.
Yeah, it's February 3rd, I think, is the next meeting, right?
that's correct, February 3rd.
Public hearing, right?
I'm sorry?
A public hearing, right?
Continue.
Yeah, it's gonna be we adjourned the public hearing, and so it's gonna be a continuation of the public hearing that's been adjourned yet. Yes, sir.
Did we get, I don't see as part of this, the visual, that
I didn't see the visual survey
I
on
didn't
this.
see it either. Is there any way we can get a copy of that?
Yeah, I mean, we'd be happy to send you, an additional copy. We had submitted it with the whole package, so it should have been in the package that you had.
I got one memo. One memo was submitted to us by Commissioner McGannon. He's Mohegan, isn't he?
No,
Or
he's
Yorktown?
He's Yorktown.
All right, Yorktown. So he's saying that there is a need for this for his fire service. And that's what I have.
I only see the one. This.
How far is the pole from the nearest
Yeah.
residence?
Approximately 411 feet. Yeah, no, there's a full visual analysis beyond just the plans.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
We'll get it to you.
Okay.
All right, so we did get an extraordinary amount of emails and letters just,
It's all here.
yeah, just today. So we're gonna need the opportunity to go through this. I do, the rest of the board wants to see the visual,
Yes.
so if we can get that information, and we'll work on something between now and the meeting of the 3rd.
Well, we have another meeting in between.
Yeah.
So that would be another opportunity for us to
Talk about it.
talk about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Anything else?
That's it.
Counselor?
And what's the date of that meeting?
26th.
26th or 27th?
26.
26th.
January 26th.
But if we can get all that information, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, John, if you'll send it, if not, let me know and I could resend it, whatever's easier for
When
you.
I find it, I will call you and let you know I found it. If I don't find it, I will call you.
I need it.
I appreciate it, thank you.
I would resend it.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time
Thank
this
you.
evening. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll hear this again at the next meeting. And next, we have a town board referral, chapter 300, solar power generation systems and facilities. The solar business seems to be changing day by day. Has everybody had a chance to look at the new
I did.
any objections?
None.
Alterations?
Yes. I think it's been our position as a board in the past that we were not in favor of a blanket prohibition on these types of uses, but more of a case-by-case, site-by-site analysis, mainly because we wanted to preserve the variety of alternative energy sources in town. I don't know if my colleagues have changed in their own position on that, but I would go on record as not being in favor of this law as it's written, for several reasons. My understanding is that it purports to ban large-scale ground-mounted solar facilities in all residential zones going forward, with the exception of the two that we've been considering. One was the Dell Avenue site, and the other one was on Jacob Road. So they basically said, beyond those two, nothing more is coming into town. And I know one of the things I'd like to know is how many potential sites are left in town where this could take place if it was properly done. I believe we've done at least a half a dozen of these applications, and we worked very hard on the screening and the positioning, and the only one I can see readily is the one on Hill. And the other day, it just looked like the side of a building, you know, it really depends. And so I think what's happened is people reacted to that one and said, hey, that's very visible, it's on, you can see it off of Route 6 in a very crowded area. I'm not sure that's justification for eliminating all other sites. For example, there are certain agricultural areas that yet remain in town which are open, that are very large, in which something like this could work. And no one will see it.
Yes, absolutely.
And a number of those types of sites were within our purview before. Those owners got the benefit of it. We got the benefit of open space preservation and non-housing. And now we're taking that away. So I really would like to know before I would support something of this sort, or what's left, what's the real impact of this? That's not indicated at all.
Has anybody done a study to say?
I don't know.
This is what's left?
I don't know, but I would like that information.
I don't think we just should blanket, you know, the whole town and say you can't have it.
I know. I agree.
I think it might, with this, like we did with the Underhill, it might be a very good idea to get the various boards together, or members of some of the boards together.
There you go.
Town board, conservation, planning, BACA, to take a look at this together and ask those questions, and maybe we could, John, you could talk to some of this. It's just, we're getting to a place here where even the new building code, although it's been put on hold, outlawed fossil fuels, wood-burning stoves. You know, we're going to a real electric system that's gonna draw, and there's no plants being put up. So the electricity's gotta come from somewhere.
I believe there are some proposed new nuclear plants that are different, more efficient, smaller.
Fusion.
Yeah, there's that, but that's not, that's
Yeah,
not,
fusion-
that's a
fusion,
dream right
nuclear.
now. But there have been plants that have been, I believe, approved by Governor Holcomb. And I think, there's two of them that have been approved. They're much smaller, much more mobile, far less waste, according to what I've been reading. And there's also something on the on the map to potentially revamp Indian Point. But it's very expensive, and it's just some words on paper right now.
So you're suggesting we need a nuclear law as well?
I hope not.
So I suggest that we need a lot of electricity moving forward, and we just keep building more and more things that are going to need more and more electricity,
Anyway,
and you know.
I just think we all need to get together on this. I mean,
I agree.
I agree
to
too.
talk separately at these meetings is
We'll
one
have a
thing,
joint meeting.
but to hear what everybody else is thinking and have that kind of dialogue in that open setting, I think would be very helpful before we make any
Yeah.
decisions. moving
Absolutely.
forward.
John, is there an easy way to look at Yorktown and say how many 5-acre lots privately owned or, and I don't know if 5 acres is the right number or not?
Didn't we have a map with that? I believe that was generated, wasn't it?
I think we did a map similar to that. We can certainly do it if we haven't done it already. I believe that we looked at that, but yeah, we can have the ability to do that without, you know,
Should be easy with
monumental
the
effort.
GIS now.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but I believe there was a map. I mean, the town board looked at this extensively, and you know, but I believe I'm almost positive that there was a map that was put out about 5-acre lots and that kind of stuff. It was color coded and everything, if
Let's
I'm
take a
not
look.
mistaken.
That's good, then we could, I mean, I certainly appreciate, the town boards, being out there in the front, with the political pressures that are brought to bear on this, but
A joint meeting. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think we just gotta.
I see ourselves as being more of insulation between that and looking long range here,
Well,
as a
we're-
planning board.
We have to plan, right? And
Yeah.
infrastructure, especially our aging infrastructure,
Yeah.
is very important. No different than the cell towers, everybody's got one of these things. And everybody's plugging something into something, right?
Right.
And, the governor's pushed this very aggressive, proposal, so how are you gonna feed it?
I know. Okay.
The one big issue that came up is if you do build a solar array in Yorktown, do people from Yorktown benefit from it directly? And
That's a
that
whole-
was a big oppositional
A whole different issue.
concern from a lot of the constituents, some of which are here tonight.
Yeah, I got it.
I recognize them.
Okay.
All right, so
Was that answered?
Was that what?
Answered?
That's where we are. That's
No, was that answered? Not really.
not really. Yeah.
The closer you are to the generation of the electricity, it's.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Then you get those electrons.
No. That question
Doesn't go down to New York City.
No. That question was answered because the way it worked is the way it came out is they proposed, in order to answer the question, they proposed to give the opportunity for people to subscribe to renewable energy to Yorktown for the first, I believe, 90 days, and then after that, the solar generation that you get from the arrays in Yorktown on Yorktown property goes into a pool. I mean, there isn't an electrical grid, in every town that you could redirect everything. But you would get savings by signing up ahead of time in a certain particular window, which would be offered only to the town of Yorktown, and I believe that was 90 days.
Has that actually happened?
No, it hasn't. I don't believe it's happened. I think there are some people that are subscribed to some of the other stuff that we have, but in these two particular projects, that hasn't happened yet. The projects are not built yet, right? Or we don't know yet.
But you can subscribe to other solar arrays that are. not in- So if you're a Yorktown resident or resident anywhere else, you can probably subscribe to a certain solar facility, which is just a way of getting some discounts, because you're not actually getting the electricity from that facility necessarily.
I know.
The closer you are, the more likely that you're getting that electricity, but, it goes into the grid.
Point.
And it follows the,
Right.
the
Okay.
voltage, where the voltage is going at the moment.
all right, so, John, if you could
Get the map?
Get the
map
map.
and start pushing that meeting,
Sure.
Okay.
all right?
We're gonna need it quick, right? Because February 3rd is right around the corner.
It is.
I have one question. Is there any way to determine how?
February 3rd, I believe.
The power generated by that facility actually goes to Yorktown residents?
I'm sorry, what was the
I
question?
think that's like an exercise of futility.
The power?
I don't think you can.
How, I understand the discount subscription, but you don't know where the power is coming from. Is there any way to determine what groups in Yorktown are actually getting power from that facility?
I don't think there is.
No.
It depends on the demand and the time of the demand as well. So if there's a big demand over in Cortland, electricity that's in the grid is gonna be going there just by the voltage. It's like pressure, it's like water pressure, right?
Okay.
But the energy that's generated from these facilities goes into, let's say, let's just to simplify it, goes into a pool. And what the, you know, so you'll have a pool of energy that gets generated by nuclear, it gets generated by solar, it gets generated by wind. Not here, there's no wind around here, but it'll be something to that effect, and it just goes into the grid and shores it up, ensuring that there is more energy available.
The closer you live to it, the more likely you will be using that actual electricity. Now, I don't know if that's true, but it's the only way that you can make sense of it.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get that meeting set up.
And the paperwork.
All right, and maybe we can even grab someone from Con Ed there. All right, that's the last item. Do I have a motion to close the meeting?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.